Elijah Jackson had been working at Le Vivre, a Michelin-starred restaurant nestled on the 50th floor of a luxury hotel in Manhattan, for almost 3 years. He moved with grace, tall, lean, and polished, his crisp white shirt tucked perfectly into jet black slacks, apron tied with military precision. He wasn't just a waiter. He was a maestro of service, a silent conductor of elegance. But to the Williams family, old money, old names, and even older prejudice, he was invisible at best, a target at worst. They came in that evening like they owned the place, because, in a way, they did. Mr. Jameson Williams was a hedge fund tycoon with a reputation for making or breaking fortunes, and his wife, Clarissa, the kind of woman who wore diamonds to brunch and believed the world revolved around her last name. Their children, Brantley and Savannah, both in their 20s, mirrored their parents, smug, spoiled, dripping with entitlement. From the moment Elijah approached their table, the air shifted. Clarissa squinted at him like he was a stain on her tablecloth. "Oh," she said flatly, not even hiding her disappointment. "You're our waiter?" "Yes, ma'am. My name is Elijah. I'll be taking care of you tonight." Brantley chuckled under his breath. "Elijah? What is this, Roots?" Savannah laughed a little too loud. Elijah smiled politely, but his jaw clenched ever so slightly. "I'll start you off with water," he said evenly, ignoring the comment. Over the next hour, the cruelty grew. They sent back wine they hadn't even tasted. They snapped fingers to call him over like he was a dog. Jameson, slurring his words slightly from the third glass of Bordeaux, leaned back his chair and said, "You know, back in my grandfather's day, a man like you wouldn't be serving. He'd be serving, if you catch my drift." The table erupted in laughter. Elijah froze for half a second, just half a second. Then he said, "I believe your steak is ready, sir," and walked away with his head held high, hands trembling behind his back. In the kitchen, Elijah leaned against the stainless steel counter. He looked down at his hands his mother used to kiss when he came home from school, hands that held textbooks, picked up his baby sister, filled out college applications he never got to use. "You all right, man?" one of the chefs asked. Elijah nodded. "Yeah." But he wasn't. He felt like he'd swallowed fire and had a smile through the burn. He thought about walking out. He thought about quitting. But then he thought about his father, a schoolteacher in Atlanta who used to say, "Son, you don't let people steal your shine. You show them what black excellence looks like." So Elijah buttoned his jacket, fixed his collar, and walked back out, chin high, soul anchored. Dessert came, and with it, the final insult. Clarissa looked at Elijah and said, "You must be used to sweet things. All that watermelon and cornbread, huh?" Savannah gasped dramatically, not from offense, but because she thought it was clever. Even the table beside them went quiet. Elijah stood still, silent. The room seemed to hush as the tension thickened like fog. Then Elijah did something unexpected. He reached into his pocket and took out a small notepad, not the one for orders, a different one, worn, brown leather cover. He opened it, flipped to a page, and calmly read, "I, too, am America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong." Langston Hughes. The table froze. He looked Jameson in the eye. "I may serve your table, sir, but I don't serve your ignorance." The manager, who had been watching from a distance, stepped in, not to scold Elijah, but to escort the family out. Word had spread. Staff, guests, even a few patrons, were no longer laughing. They were applauding. The Williams family left in a haze of embarrassment, their expensive shoes clacking against cold marble floors. 2 weeks later, Elijah wasn't at Le Vivre anymore, not because he was fired, but because he resigned. After a video of his calm poem reading went viral, filmed quietly by a guest who shared it with the world, he was offered a position at a new black-owned fine dining restaurant opening in Harlem. This time, not as a waiter, as restaurant manager. He walks through those doors every day now in a suit-tailored ambition, with staff who respect him and patrons who see him. Because respect doesn't come from money. It comes from character, from resilience, from knowing who you are, even when others try to tell you what you're not. Narrator, racism doesn't always scream. Sometimes it chuckles across a dinner plate or whispers behind a wine glass. But dignity speaks too, soft but thunderous, steady like a heartbeat that won't give in. Elijah's story is a reminder that the real currency of worth isn't printed on paper or bound in a trust fund. It lives in how you carry yourself when others try to make you small, and how, even in silence, you rise. Hashtag Black Stories Matter. Hashtag Storytime with Soul.